Ladies, gentlemen, and every gorgeous person out there, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, VRChat, and today we are going to be looking into how materials and shaders work in Unity. So basically, we're going to unlock the potential that all of your game objects really have in all of your scenes in VRChat. Imagine this cube or any surface as just a completely blank canvas, and to breathe some life into it, we're going to need to use some materials. Materials in Unity define how a game object looks, feels, and interacts with light. There's a few other bits and pieces that we'll get into later on, but at the heart of all these materials are simple textures. A texture is basically just an image. This could be a PNG or a Photoshop file or a bunch of other things that can work really well in the Unity game engine. And they're pretty easy to use. All you need to do is drag and drop these images into the texture slots in any material. There's also a bunch of other ways to also search up and find the textures, but simply placing them into the material will give you your immediate desired results. First up, you're going to have Albedo textures. This is sort of the object's base color and pattern. Depending on the gamed object and the FBX, it can be either a tile or atlas. You may want to check what your model is looking like and its UVs. However, we'll get into that a little bit later on as well. Then you have your normal maps, giving your object depth and detail without adding extra polygons. It's like makeup sort of contouring for your game objects. You got metallic and roughness maps, which determine how shiny or dull your object is. If you want a rusty feel or a polished look, this is sort of where you want to be playing around. Some materials will support height maps, and adding another layer of depth, tricking the eye into seeing 3D variations on a flat surface. And then you have your emissive maps, which allow your objects to glow, allowing and affecting lighting, as well as giving sort of those sci-fi and, cyberpunk vibes, which I'm known for. And you'll probably find a lot of materials support some very easy to use textures. Applying these textures, you can turn your plain old cube into a rusty, glowing, embossed masterpiece. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a pretty cube is what I do. However, there's a little bit more magic going on underneath Unity's hood than just the material. This is where we get into shaders. Shaders are behind-the-scenes directors, dictating the game's lighting and how it interacts with your materials, as well as how you visually see the pixels on screen with the game objects. Even using the same textures as before, using different shaders with your materials allows for different reflective surfaces to translucent water effects, glowing pulses. Shaders can dramatically transform the life in your scene. So you might be wondering, how do materials and shaders work together in Unity? Well, this is where you can kind of think of materials as the actor, ready for any role. But the shaders are the directors, guiding their performance. And together they create this dynamic duo that brings Unity scenes to life. When we change our shader, we can alter how sort of the textures, the vertices, a bunch of different visual effects move and behave, producing a range of visual different styles. I myself am not a shader coder. However, I do research and have to look into what kind of shaders and materials I'm using, in particular to the type of textures I would like to produce the worlds and environments that I'm looking in. Specifically, some shaders support different styles of lighting within Unity, such as mono SH lighting and silence filamented shaders. Thankfully, our shaders are a file of code. All you need to do is simply drag and drop them into your Unity project, and they will be installed for you. The hard and fun part comes down to the materials and how you're setting those up, which can be a variety of placing all the predetermined textures to you playing around with a bunch of sliders all day and finding the perfect settings to the scene that you require and need to. This is a very, very basic rundown on how materials and shaders sort of work. However, if you're trying to find out why something may be pink in your Unity project, that may be because the material does not have a tied-in shader. So you may need to find a suitable shader that can fill in for that material. And if an object is looking dull and not having any life to it, you may need to create a material for it necessary and apply those textures and necessary things to bring everything that you wanted to life. And when you really get into the fun hobbies of shader and material creation, things can get a little bit wild. Honestly, the possibilities are limitless. Alright, and there we have it, a very quick guide on Unity's materials and shaders. Please dive in and experiment and let your creativity shine. If you found this tutorial helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe, share, and all the things as well. Helps the channel quite a lot. And until next time, take care, happy creating, toodaloos.